Dear friends, in this lecture, we will be solving numericals on boiler efficiency calculations. And the objective is that with this help of numerical solving, you would get the concepts right. So, in the last few lectures, we were discussing as to how one performs an energy audit of the steam generator or boiler. We talked about two popular methods which boiler auditors use to assess the performance of the boiler. We talked about the direct method and we mentioned about the indirect method. And we said that the boiler efficiency test, which is the practical test which the auditors they conduct, they follow certain standards. We had seen that in the direct method, if you want to calculate the boiler efficiency, we need to take certain measurements. And we said that those measurements would depend upon the expression which we use for calculating the boiler efficiency by the direct method. So what was that expression? So as you see over here, the boiler efficiency is the ratio of steam flow rate into the difference between the enthalpy of the steam and the feed water upon the fuel consumption rate into the gross calorific value. So this boiler efficiency calculated this way gives us the boiler efficiency on the gross calorific value basis, GCV basis, or it's also called as higher calorific value basis. Sometimes you would be required to estimate the boiler efficiency on the NCV basis, that is net calorific value basis. Now, why is that so? Why is it essential to get the boiler efficiency on the GCV basis or NCV basis separately? That is because in the industry, in certain countries, you would find that the boiler efficiencies are expressed on the GCV basis, and in some other countries, you would find that they are expressed in the NCV basis. So if you want to compare two efficiencies, then it is better to compare apples with apples than apples with mangoes. So when you compare the boiler efficiency, we need to compare the two values. One, the boiler efficiency based on the GCV basis estimated, and the boiler efficiency of GCV basis given in the boiler supplier's sheet. Or the boiler efficiency we need to calculate or estimate on the NCV basis and compare it with the boiler efficiency given by the boiler manufacturer on the NCV basis. That way, if you want to measure the boiler efficiency, if you want to calculate the boiler efficiency, we need to measure the steam flow rate as we had discussed in the earlier lecture. And if the steam flow rate is not possible to be measured because if we don't have the steam flow meter, then one can measure the feed water flow rate. And from the mass balance, we can calculate the steam flow rate. In order to estimate the steam enthalpy, we said that we need to measure the boiler pressure and the boiler temperature, the steam temperature, I mean. And the feed water temperature has to be noted for the feed water enthalpy. By taking these observations, we can calculate the boiler efficiency. Now, we would be actually looking at some values, specific values, and we would be substituting those values so that you would get a feel of how we calculate the boiler efficiency. So let us take down a numerical where you can use your notebooks for writing down this numerical, and then we can solve them step by step. Okay, we would actually require a steam table for getting the properties of steam, but I would be directly giving you the steam enthalpy values for convenience. Okay, so let us now write down this numerical. Okay, so I am writing down this numerical here. So the question is as follows. We would assume that you are doing an energy audit or a boiler audit, and we are taking certain readings. Okay, so first thing we need to know when you do an audit is what type of boiler it is. So let us say that it is let me write down that it is a coal-fired boiler. Okay, it is a coal-fired boiler. It means that the fuel consumed is coal, and we would require a data of the calorific value of the coal. Okay, So the auditor is doing an audit on a coal fired boiler. This is one information which is provided to us, and during the audit he notes down the steam pressure, the pressure of the steam. How is that noted? That is noted by using the pressure gauge reading. Okay, so the steam pressure reading is noted, and that is let us say 10 kg per centimeter square. Okay, so 10 kg per centimeter square, and note down that this is a gauge pressure. It has to be converted to absolute pressure. Okay, so one important information as an auditor you have already got, and what is that? We have got that information from the pressure gauge reading. Okay, so this gives you an idea that what readings are also to be taken. This numerical would give you a better idea. Then the steam generation rate is also given, and let us say that the steam generation rate, that is the capacity of the boiler, steam generation rate is, let us say, 8 tons per hour. Okay, 8 tons per hour. Now how is that recorded? As I said, as a boiler auditor, you need to record the steam flow meter reading, or you need to record the feed water temperature, feed water flow rate. Okay, and because both the readings are perfectly valid, because mass of the water is equal to mass of the steam generated. Okay, so whatever way you get, that is the correct reading. So this is 8 tons per hour reading which has been noted down. One more information is noted down, that is the temperature of the steam. Okay, this is, we get it from the thermocouple, and these thermocouples are connected, and we can read those readings using the temperature indicator which is available on the boiler. Okay, so the steam temperature reading is, let us say, 180 degrees centigrade. This information is also with us now. Okay, and then we also need to understand the parameters of the feed water. And what is the parameter which we are interested in? Because we want to find ultimately the enthalpy of the feed water, so we need to record the temperature of the feed water which is entering the steam generator boiler. Okay, so that is also recorded by a thermocouple, and we can read that easily on the panel which would show these parameters. Okay, every boiler would have a panel on which these readings can be taken. If they don't have the panel, if it is very old boiler, then we need to actually put instruments and record these readings, right? Then we need to know the quality of the coal, and by quality I mean using the bomb calorimeter. You need to take the sample of the coal, and as a boiler auditor, you need to note down the calorific value. And let us say that that calorific value of the coal is given in MKS units. It is 3200 kilocalories per kg. Okay, so now you are required to find the boiler efficiency. The question is, this is the given data, and you are required to find the boiler efficiency. Find the boiler efficiency by the direct method. Okay, so how do we do this? So we have seen that boiler efficiency by the direct method is the output of the boiler in terms of energy to the input of the boiler in terms of energy. And what is the output of the boiler in terms of energy? So output of the boiler, let us say, just draw a schematic of the boiler here. Let us say this is the boiler, and let us say that the water enters this boiler and the steam comes out of this boiler. Steam comes out of this boiler. Okay, so the output of the boiler is the steam generation rate into enthalpy of steam minus enthalpy of feed water. Enthalpy of feed water. This is the thermal output of the boiler, and this is m dot s, and the input is the fuel consumption rate of the boiler, that is in this case coal consumption rate, into its gross calorific value. Okay, so if you refer the steam tables, from the steam tables we have seen in a separate lecture as to how we refer to the steam tables and get the enthalpy. So from the steam tables, we need to note down the enthalpy of the steam at 11 kg per centimeter square. Now, why I have written 11 kg and not 10 kg? Because this is a gauge pressure and I need to convert it into absolute pressure by adding 1 kg as the atmospheric pressure. So at 11 kg per centimeter square and at 180 degrees centigrade, I can read the enthalpy value of the steam so generated, and this value I have been given as 665 kilocalories per kg. You can confirm yourself this value from the steam tables. Okay, you can always also use the SI system and you can substitute the value in kilojoules per kg also. Okay, so that is left as a homework. So this value I have got in kilocalories per kg. So this is 665. Similarly, this I can get it from the steam table by looking at HF value at 85 degrees centigrade, HF value at 85 degrees centigrade, and that value you would be getting it as around 85 kilocalories per kg. Right? Note that I am using MKS units. You can also use the SI units for doing this calculation. The answer would remain the same. And GCV is mentioned to be 3200 kilocalories per kg, and this is 8 tons per hour. So how much is that? 8 tons per hour is, it would be 8,000 kgs per hour. Okay, you would also require one more reading, and that is you would require the fuel consumption rate. So let us say that fuel consumption rate is also measured, and I'll write it over here. The fuel consumed is, let us say, 1.8 tons per hour. Okay, so I can straight away use this as 8 tons per hour. It doesn't matter. I'll just, to avoid confusion, I will just use this as, because both the numerator and denominator of mass would have the same unit, and hence because it being a ratio, these units being the same, we need not convert them to standard units. Okay, you can always get the correct answer even by putting these values in tons per hour. Okay, so if you put this and solve this, you can use your calculator and make sure that you do it yourself rather than copying down. Then into 100% should give you the boiler efficiency as around 80%. Okay, 80%. So this tells us, and let us say that the boiler was rated at, from the boiler's manufacturer sheet, let us say that the boiler efficiency was given as 90%. So as an energy auditor, if the rated efficiency was 90%, then you would say that, okay, so something is wrong with this boiler. The efficiency is fairly low, and you need to then do some more rigorous audit and see as to how we can improve the efficiency of the boiler, because that after all is the job of an energy auditor. Okay, so this way, so in this lecture we had seen as to how we calculate the boiler efficiency by the direct method. Very simple numerical. You can try out this numerical with different things, like for example, you can change this pressure to 20 bar, you can change this temperature to 300 degrees centigrade, the steam flow rate you can change, the fuel consumption value can be changed like this, and you can solve n number of problems in order to make sure that you have understood the concept very well. Okay, so I hope that this clears one of the important concept, that is obtaining the calorific value of the steam, okay, using the direct method. Okay, so that's all. Okay, bye for now.